Hey there, it's so good to see you. I know it's been a hot minute since I have posted a video on my channel, and I'm so sorry about that. I'm actually going to be talking to you about why that is today, why being an alienated parent stops you from doing the things that you really want to be doing, and why it's such a struggle. And so, by the way, if you're new here, hello and welcome. My name is AJ. I am a mom, a CPA, an entrepreneur, and I am also an alienated parent. For 2 decades, I've been the unwilling recipient of abuse and coercive control and domestic violence. And that has left a significant mark on me, wherein I struggle with significant amounts of depression and anxiety, and that's even developed into more challenging things like panic disorder and overthinking about the most minute of things so that I'm paralyzed and unable to do daily life. I've always been a person who wanted to do my very best and to accomplish big things in life. And I'm a hard worker. I'm really willing to put the work and the effort into something that I want to get. But when you have mental health struggles, all of that changes. Suddenly things that used to be easy are no longer easy. They are a daily struggle. I keep thinking that somehow I'm going to be able to heal from or recover from the mental health struggles that I've had since, well, really for 2 decades. And there were periods of time where I did. There were a lot of times where I was able to overcome it and really kind of eradicate it. It wasn't part of my life hardly at all. I was able to do life just fine. Probably 4 or 5 years now, and most especially for the last couple of years, that is just not the case. And so when I set a goal for myself, I think, oh yeah, I'm going to be able to do this like I used to be able to do. But what I'm finding now is that I have significant struggle just with even getting out of bed, just with even making a meal, just with even, taking care of daily decisions and spending time with my family without having the brooding thoughts that are constantly present when trauma has happened. That's what I'm here to talk about today. I could think about the perfect way to deliver this video or the perfect way to even just go about my day, and I'm going to know it's not going to happen because I've seen it over and over and over where I am constantly feeling, and it's really depressing. And so I finally just thought to myself, you know what, just get up and take a shower today and call that a win. And I did that for a while. I just would set myself up in my mind that if I did X thing, whatever that was a success, and it was a successful day because I had to start feeling feelings of accomplishment in something, even if it was as small as taking a shower, or as small as making a meal, or as small as even just getting up out of bed before 9 a.m. That's where I have been operating for many, many months now. I think today's video is really to acknowledge how difficult it can be to overcome the trauma that results from losing a child. I think the hard thing about parental alienation is that that child is still alive. Losing someone to death is very final and very, it's transformational in a way, because if you're a person who believes in life after death, you can kind of imagine a sort of relationship with them, or maybe you can feel them, your presence, because they are omnipresent. But there's still a connection with death, even though you don't see them. With parental alienation, there's no connection. There's somebody on the other side who made that choice, and we don't judge them for that choice, but we still have the effect of what that did to us. And it is heartbreaking, and it is absolutely crushing because they're still alive, but you don't have them in your life. And how to make sense of that in our brains is like the most difficult mental gymnastics I've ever had to face. And probably the most painful thing to me is that there's a person who is alive and choosing not to be in my life, and has that painful disdain for me. The second thing that's really, really hard to overcome, and that I hadn't really expected to have so much struggle with, but I think I do because of the loss of my children through parental alienation, is the role that the domestic violence played in all of this. And so I already had, a fair amount of trauma from the domestic violence that had occurred and being subject to those experiences. But you can kind of be resilient and move on from that when you leave the relationship. But the problem is that it never stopped. It's like a band-aid that keeps getting ripped off and ripping off the wound over and over and over again. And the final crushing blow is the resulting loss of the child and the relationship with your child. And so it's a cruel fate after experiencing repeated and chronic abusive behavior from that former relationship. And I thought that leaving the relationship would be the end, and that I'd get to start all over, and I did in a lot of ways get to start all over and kind of recreate my life. But the domestic violence didn't stop. It's just like it changed form, because there's that connecting point between you and that person. You can be subjected to more coercive control indefinitely. I think that it's easy for people to say, oh, just move on, or you're not in that situation anymore, so you're safe and you're fine, and or keep having hope, and all these things. And they're all well-meaning things, but I think the reality is that unless you've experienced the chronic repeated abuse resulting in this, I don't know if a person really can truly understand how deep the wounds go. And trust me, I've tried every therapeutic method I can think of, and I'm still here today with you in significant struggle. And so much so that it has really affected my daily life. And I'm just wanting to validate that for myself and for all of you, and let you know that it's real. This pain is real, and we wish it weren't there, and we're doing everything we can to not have it be there. But in some respect, I think accepting that it's just part of me is better than trying to pretend it's not there or trying to force it away, because that doesn't work. That's all I have to say today. Wishing you the best. Thanks for being with me.